Well, hello and welcome. I assume that you're watching this video because you've just recently gotten your bar results back from the New Jersey bar exam and you failed the test. And though we probably don't know each other, I'm really sorry that that's the situation and that that's happened to you, and I can empathize and I understand the incredible amount of disappointment and sadness that you're feeling right this moment. But there is hope, as we say, and there are some things that you can do. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about some of those very specific things that you can do to get yourself on the pass list for the next administration of the exam. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jackson Mumey. I'm the owner of Celebration Bar Review, and for more than 2 decades, I've been teaching students and helping them pass the exam. Our course is a comprehensive course. We cover all of the New Jersey subjects and all of the multi-state, and we're familiar with the course and what goes into it and the exam and how to prepare for it and how to be successful with it. Over more than a 15-year period, we have a published pass rate in New Jersey that's in excess of 90%. And while I think the New Jersey exam has gotten much, much tougher in the last few years, we've still managed to do above the state average. And so I think that I can be very confident when I tell you that we can help you pass this particular test. Well, one of the things that I can probably guess about you as someone who's watching this video right now is that you're resilient and that you're not going to accept failing as being the final determination, or at least I hope not. And so I want to give you some very practical next steps that you can take to get ready for the next administration of the exam. The first step, in my view, is to get a consultation, to have a fresh set of eyes looking at what you're doing and how you're doing it. One of the hardest things to do with a post-mortem of an exam is to get an objective viewpoint of what you did right and what you did wrong and what needs to be improved. And so you'll see on this page that one for you is a free consultation with me by telephone or FaceTime, whatever you prefer, Skype, so that we can talk about your results, see what you did, find out a little bit about how you studied and what you're doing and what you might have to do in the future. I think that having that set of objective eyes looking at your results is incredibly important, and I encourage you to get that consultation so that you have someone who can look at this a little more dispassionately, perhaps, and a little less emotionally than you might be looking at it right at this moment. So please avail yourself of that opportunity. The second thing that you should do after you have that consultation is you should get back into your studies. I know that right now the thought of having to open up your books and study again for a bar exam is just a horrible feeling. It probably puts a pit in your stomach, but it's important to do. As I'm recording this, we're actually under 90 days until the next bar exam. That's enough time to prepare for the test, particularly in New Jersey where you're only dealing with 7 subjects, but it's going to require that you get started pretty quickly. Now, if you get back into your studies pretty quickly, you should be able to stay at about 20 to 30 hours a week of study. If you've got more time, that's great, but it's not necessary to have more time than that if you begin. Now, if it's not going to be possible for you to put in even 20 or 30 hours of study, you should begin studying for the next administration of the exam after this one and give yourself a more leisurely pace, say 5 hours a week or whatever. You might say, well, I want to take off a few months before I start studying. That's a normal inclination. However, I think it's a good idea to start your studies now because emotionally it gives you something to focus on and to work with. It'll also build on what you've been doing and you're learning rather than having to start with a complete break for many, many months. So I would encourage you to get underway with your studies. The third thing I think you should do is to consider whether or not it's time to change the way you're studying. If you took one of the large bar reviews, what I call the big box courses, like Barbary or a Kaplan, and you didn't pass the exam, even though you may have some financial reduction to resit with them, the truth is that their courses are not particularly well designed for repeat takers. That's not their happy place. It's not what they do well. In point of fact, sitting through their course again a second or a third time, whatever it might be, statistically you're not likely to pass the exam. It's much better, I think, in that situation to find a bar review that specializes in people that are repeat bar takers. And that's certainly a course like Celebration Bar Review. There are others out there. But over the years, I've found myself doing more and more work with people who are not first-time takers, though we're fortunate to have plenty of those as well. But for a repeat bar taker, it's really important to have someone really working with you independently, specifically on the areas of weakness, the things that you need to focus on. And so we want to do that with you, and I would encourage you to do that, whether it's with us or with someone else. I think just repeating the same thing you've done in the past, doing more of it in a traditional bar review course, you're going to find to be very frustrating, not particularly efficient, and typically not very successful. So I think that's one of the things you want to be aware of. Now, in a course like ours, what we do is focus extensively on your writing to make sure that the writing is giving the examiners the kind of information that they're looking for. In general, that means not memorizing and reciting rules. You may have done a lot of that before and it didn't work out so well. The reality of the bar exam is that it's not a test of how much law you can memorize and how much law you can recite. It's really much more on how you use that information and how you express it to the examiners on the various parts of the test. And so in a course like ours, we're going to give you lectures and written outlines and practice questions, essays and multiple choice, along with model answers, sample answers, discussions in the lectures, and so on, so that you have a way of working through that material. We'll also give you a detailed study guide, a list of assignments that you'll follow that will help give you some structure and organization. And then most importantly, we have a series of mentoring choices in which you have the opportunity to work with me specifically on your studies to pinpoint and really dive into the weak areas. We also have a program called STAR, which is Successful Test Application Resources. This is a nearly perfect track record course with additional help with photo reading, comprehension, meditation, neurolinguistic programming, a variety of tools that we found really help people who are in a repeat bar setting. If you're having problems with test anxiety or reading comprehension, this course may be perfectly designed for you, and so we'll have some links for you to look into that as well, but I would encourage you to think about that. I think that when you basically are looking for how to study, what you want to be doing is looking at a course that is geared for the New Jersey exam, as ours, that includes the multi-state and has licensed questions, as we do, and that has structure and feedback. And if you've got all of those pieces, I think you're going to find that that's really the essence of what you need to be successful. You know, I know this is a disappointing time for you, but I do encourage you to take the next steps, to go forward, check out your alternatives, see what's out there, and let us know if we can be of help. I really encourage you to consult with me. You'll see how, and I look forward to talking with you and seeing if we can help you figure out the way to move yourself onto the pass list for the next administration of the New Jersey bar exam. Thanks very much for watching, and best wishes and good luck to you.